Okay, so there is my monochromatic value scale. As you can see, I've got my darkest value up here, and then it comes down in just a very slight shade of pink there, which is the lightest value of red. We're going to move on to the complementary colors, and we talked about color schemes, which is why I give you guys a little bit of time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick two complementary colors. If I can find my colors that I want. We're going to go with purple and yellow. Yes, Lakers colors. Gotta love it. So, my lightest value, okay, so over here, if we go to this one, my lightest value is going to be yellow. So I'm going to color that one in yellow. Now this one is a little bit more complicated. This value scale is going to be a little bit more complicated than what we did with the monochromatic and then just the black and white value scale. All right. So my lightest value is solid yellow. And then my darkest value, which I've kind of flipped over here, but you can see by the number of 10, okay, that is going to be my darkest value of purple or violet, okay. Now, as we mentioned with complementary colors, they are complete opposites on the color wheel. However, when we mix yellow and purple, what color do we get? Believe it or not, you get brown. And you can also make brown by mixing any two complementary colors. So red and green, those will make a shade of brown. Orange and blue, that will make a shade of brown. And of course, as I mentioned, what I'm using here, purple and yellow. Now you could use other complementary colors that are opposites on the color wheel, but it's easier just to go with the primary and a secondary. All right. So how are we going to do this? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use, I'm going to go ahead and start with the darker one. I'm going to go ahead and put good layer of purple down in my number 9 slot. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. Okay. And then I bring in my yellow. And you can see how it's going to kind of change that color a little bit. All right. And I'm going to kind of play with this, mix it back and forth a little bit. This is probably way too much yellow for this particular value at this point. So I can go ahead and I can bring in the purple back again and make that a little bit more of a purple. Okay? You can see a little bit of that yellow still kind of bleeding through, so I can cover that up. So don't feel like, oh, I did it one time and that's it. That's all I have. That's all I can do with it. No, you can sit here and you can play with it a little bit. You can make it a little bit darker if you want. Okay? But what we want to do is we want to get a value scale that transitions from purple, okay, to a little bit lighter with the yellow until it becomes yellow. All right. So the next one here, we're probably going to add a little bit more yellow than we did on the last one, and a little less purple, and that way it will slowly start to change as we go across. So play around with it, have fun. You know, try to get those values as even as possible. Just keep in mind that a darker color will saturate a box much quicker than a lighter color. So the yellow is going to change a little bit. All right, as you can see, we're starting to get somewhere there. However, when I add that purple back in, it's going to cover up that yellow real easy. So careful not to use too much. Okay. And we're just going to continue on. All right. I won't make you watch all of the boring coloring and that kind of stuff. I'm going to continue on with mine. You guys work on yours, and I will see you in a few minutes after you get done coloring in your complementary value change, or value scale, excuse me. Okay, so that's where I'm at so far.